Hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the multi-award winning animation from Latvia. It is called Flow, and I'm really looking forward to telling you all about it. Flow is about a dark cat who has anxiety about both water and also engaging with other animals in the wildlife. When horrific floods happen, the cat has to overcome their anxiety and fears and work with the other animals in order to survive. Despite being a low-budget animation film, Flow manages to combine visual beauty with animal sounds to tell this silent story about the cat. And Flow has become a leading contender for the Oscar for Best Animation Film and has been selected as Latvia's submission for the Academy Award for Best International Feature Film. And this is Latvia's first realistic chance to doing well at the Oscars. In this video, I'm going to review the film and also look at how well it could do at the Oscars, both in the race for Best International Feature Film, but also for Best Animation Film. So let's roll and review that film. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Paul, and I review the best of world cinema, and I also follow the race for Best International Feature Film Oscar, from countries selecting their submission to the final winner. Flow is a very simple animation that enables the viewer to interpret the film how they choose and place their own values and issues on the film's narrative. So I saw Flow at the London Baltic Film Festival, and it was very clear there's no huge hidden meanings to the film intended, which enables you to place your own interpretation on the film, which makes it really clever. They did steer that the film was intended to demonstrate the importance of cooperation, especially with people who are different to you, as well as raising the issues around anxiety in the modern age. However, my interpretation felt it was very related to the climate change agenda, with obviously huge floodings causing damage and life-altering situations, and how it's important how we have to work together to mitigate climate change and adapt for it. Otherwise, it's going to be more horrific. This approach of enabling one's own interpretation makes it a fully accessible film. In particular, for young children can watch it and get something out of it, but also the adults can find it really stimulating and enjoy the graphics as well as the narrative. There is purposely no cultural context to this film. This is not Latvia, and it's not specifically placed in one location. This could be the wildlife in any country, and that's why it's provided such a universal theme to its narrative. Other interpretations one could make could be about the biblical references to Noah's Ark, for example, or particular human traits being placed upon animals. However, for me, it's the animal traits that really make the emotional beats to the film and make it a really cohesive piece of work. The animation is beautiful. There's almost a video game-like quality to it, despite its low budget. And it's really complemented by this great score and use of animal voices, which drives the narrative without needing spoken words or human intervention to tell the narrative. And when you have that combination of sound and visuals, you don't need words to explain what's going on. What's really unique about this animated film is the fact that there is a sense of urgency caused by the camera work. So there's sharp turns following the characters, creating this sense of urgency, spontaneity, and disaster looming, which you don't necessarily get in other animated films. While obviously the cat is the main character, for me, my favourite character was the Labrador dog. He creates that sense of fun, stupidity, and loyalness that dogs provide. You know, that really enjoyable social media video of a dog. He represents that character vibe, which brings a really fun element to the film. be honest, not a huge animation fan. I don't normally have an emotional connection to animated films because I see that barrier when there's not real life things on the screen. And only a handful of animated films I have a real connection with. So, for example, the multi-Oscar nominated Flea from Denmark, the Swiss film My Life as a Courgette, which is stop motion, but also the French film Persepolis about the Iranian Revolution based upon a cartoon comic book. I love those films and I have emotional connection with them. And for me, Flow is in that standard of animation, which is why I really appreciate it. So to summarize, Flow is a visual treat that provides me with an emotional connection and thought-provoking narrative that enable me to take it to the level I want to. And for this reason, I'm going to give it 4 stars. So let's have a quick look at how well it could do in the Oscar race. For me, this has a great chance of at least making the final 15 shortlist for Best International Feature Film. I really think it's got that pedigree that award voters are good to love. And it's been clearing out award ceremonies left, right and centre, winning Best Animated Film. And I could see it do particularly well in that category at the Oscars. So I think it's going to make that final 15 with a good chance of actually getting Latvia's first ever nomination for Best International Feature Film because it's receiving that high praise. It recently won Best Animation at the European Film Awards, which is huge considering the competition, and was also nominated for Best Film, which is very rare for an animated film. I think it's got a great chance to repeat the success of what Flea did 3 years ago, where it managed to get nominations in the Best Documentary Film, Best Animation, and Best International Feature Film. While Flow will not be eligible, obviously, for documentary film, I feel it's going to get multiple Academy Award nominations, with at least animation and international feature being their best shots. This is the 16th film Latvia have submitted for the Best International Feature Film Academy Award category, and they've never had any success in the past. This is often the case because they've submitted films that are very tied to very local, historic and political issues that haven't necessarily grabbed the attention beyond a domestic audience. They have been decent films, however, they're not elevated enough to be considered potentially in an international film awards category. So, which is why they have never had any particular success at the Oscars. However, I do feel Flow will change all this. This is being internationally recognised. It's very universal. It's very elevated and receiving huge praise. So this is going to be a historic moment for Latvian cinema, where even if it makes only the final 15 shortlist for Best International Feature Film, this will be a moment in Latvian cinema that we should all be celebrating. So have you managed to catch the film Flow? If so, leave in the comments what you think about it and whether you think it could do well at the Oscars. If you would like to see how well Flow does at the Oscars, or follow the race for Best International Feature Film Oscar, or just see reviews for world cinema, then please do like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, Global Film Paul.